Naminé and Kairi are two girls who live lonely lives for different reasons. Kairi can do nothing but wait while her two best friends make their long journeys back home.
Naminé puts together memories of a sleeping boy, stuck always in dull white rooms reminiscent of her original prison, looking in on colorful memories she wasn't a part of. But these two girls find their way to each other, reach out to one another, and in the end, join to become one.
Today in Shedding Starlight, let's talk about Kairi and her relation to Naminé. To begin, let's rewind to Naminé's creation and how Kairi's circumstances at the time influenced the way Naminé exists. The way Ansem the Wise writes about Naminé in his 9th and 10th reports might make it confusing on when exactly she was born, since these reports switch back and forth between two different times Kairi loses her heart. The first time at Destiny Islands, when her heart takes refuge within Sora.
Sora.
And the second time at Hollow Bastion, when Sora releases both his and Kairi's hearts.
I won't let him go!
It might help if you stop thinking about reports 9 and 10 as being written right after both of these events. Instead, think of them as a single entry of reflection written during Chain of Memories that got interrupted halfway through. Together, this is what they explain. After Kairi's heart enters Sora, her body remains in the realm of light, instead of being reborn as a nobody in Twilight Town. This affected how Naminé was created later during Hollow Bastion because she is not Kairi's original body like she is supposed to be, as with most nobody's creations. Naminé was born when Sora released Kairi's heart from within him. Because Kairi's heart was released from within his body this time, not her own, the physical aspect Naminé has as a nobody belongs to his body, Sora's. Not only does Naminé not have Kairi's memories, she doesn't have Sora's either, as she can only be composed of a small portion of him since Roxas is his original body. Another thing that sets Naminé apart is where she was born. Roxas was born in Twilight Town, which Sora had never been to, but it is where all nobodies are supposed to be born. Naminé, however, was born at Castle Oblivion, a place deeper into the precipice of the in-between. A place neither Sora nor Kairi had been before. So Naminé is the nobody of someone who isn't part of her makeup in any way, and the person who is part of her makeup is so just barely. Because of this, Naminé's existence can be thought of as a mold of ice, so thin and fragile that even a single touch can begin to melt it. No wonder Ansem the Wise describes her as a non-being, in the truest sense of the word, the most fleeting of shadows. But Naminé's creation and constitution isn't the only thing Ansem the Wise, Diz, studied about her.
I'm a witch, with power over Sora's memories and those around him.
A witch?
That's what Diz called me. But I don't know why I have this power. I just do. I'm not even sure there's a right way for me to use it.
While Naminé struggles with the morality of her abilities, she does her best to make up for her mistakes by reconstructing Sora's memory after she dismantled it in Castle Oblivion. Naminé not only has power over Sora's own memories, but also over other people's memories that involve Sora. Ansem the Wise suspects this is because Kairi's heart migrated deep within Sora's heart. Naminé is an alter ego of the Kairi who has directly interfered with Sora's heart. Could this be why Sora and those hearts who are connected to him were able to have their memories controlled? This is why, in Castle Oblivion, Naminé was able to manipulate Donald, Goofy, and Jiminy to make them forget things like Hollow Bastion's name. While Sora was asleep at Castle Oblivion, Naminé had to gather all the memories involving Sora so everyone who knew him began to forget him. But as Naminé neared the completion on her reconstructing Sora's memories, everyone's memories of Sora returned to them.
A while back, everyone suddenly remembered you guys, all at the same time.
You remembered? Wait, does that mean you forgot about us?
One of the people who once forgot Sora and slowly began to remember him as he inched closer to waking was Kairi.
After Kingdom Hearts 1, while Sora and Riku were stuck in strange places, eventually finding their way to Castle Oblivion, Kairi was always at Destiny Islands. The island we're most familiar with is the small island where kids go to play, the one we explored in the original game. But Kingdom Hearts 2 gives us a much better look at the main island, where everyone actually lives. Since the world's restoration, Kairi has been going back to school and living a regular life, forgetting Sora. Soon after Naminé begins her work on Roxas in Twilight Town, Kairi decides to write a letter to the boy she now barely remembers.
His voice always used to be there, and now it's gone. I can't think of his face or his name. I feel awful about it.
The following day, Naminé unintentionally puts Kairi in telepathic contact with Roxas and adjacently with Sora.
You don't remember my name? Thanks a lot, Kairi. Okay, I guess I can give you a hint. Starts with an S.
Suddenly, Kairi remembers Sora's name, and she drifts the bottled letter to Destiny Island's shoreline. The very letter Riku will later forward to Sora at the end of the game. Sometime later, after Roxas was joined with Sora, Kairi is visited by Axel, who, as we discussed last episode, tries to take her hostage. However, Riku, along with Pluto, lets Kairi escape to Twilight Town, where she befriends Hayner, Pence, and Olette. Axel finds her again, however, and tries to take her a second time. We learn that Sykes intercepted this and imprisoned Kairi at the world that never was. But it wasn't Riku who saves her this time, or even Sora. It's Kairi's nobody herself, Naminé, who reaches for Kairi's hand and pulls her out of the prison.
Believe in yourself. Come on, hurry!
When the two girls hold hands, a light emanates so bright that it's visible from the outside of the enormous castle. This touch was, unfortunately, the warmth that melts Naminé's fragile shell of existence. Holding hands, Naminé starts to visibly fuzz. The two girls escape together with the help of Riku. When Kairi sees Sora, she's attacked by Shadow Heartless. They disappear with a flash of light, and Riku hands Kairi her very own Keyblade, adorned with flowers embracing a destiny etched many years ago. Defeating the rest of the nearby Heartless, the two finally reunite with Sora, the three of them together for the first time in over a year. When things settle down at the world that never was, Naminé appears and opens a dark corridor for everyone to return home through. Though now, she is only partly visible, as her existence thins further, not even perceivable to Mickey, Donald, and Goofy, those who do not have some sort of spiritual connection to her. She has one final moment with Roxas before grabbing hands with Kairi again, completing the union and disappearing within Kairi.
After Kairi walks through the door, she's once again separated from Sora and Riku. Little does she know, the letter she wrote before would find its way to Sora and Riku and lead them back to her.
At Destiny Islands, Kairi sees 2 falling stars. Her boys have made it back home. And as for Naminé, she finally gets closure, as she finally isn't alone. After over a year of lonely existence, she's finally on that colorful island with her friends, like she always sketched.
So today, in celebration of talking about two very lovely girls in Kingdom Hearts, Kairi and Naminé, we have a special guest who...
Let's freaking go.
Let's freaking go. Who
Let's freaking go.
absolutely loves these characters.
Oh my god.
Welcome, Aeba.
Hello.
Yay!
Hi, everyone. Yes, I love my girls. Do not say anything bad about them. I am within striking distance.
She's out to fucking get you.
Thank you so much for coming on, Aeba. You were like one of the first people we thought of, if not the first. We were like, we gotta get Aeba on. We gotta.
Honored. Absolutely honored to be here.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Jump right in.
Woo.
And one of the things about Naminé, let's start with Naminé, is the fact that she doesn't look like Kairi. And Roxas doesn't look like Sora. And they're both blonde.
What the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on?
It's weird how in Kingdom Hearts, with like the Ansem reports, Ansem the Wise is trying to give us like all these rules for nobodies. But then he has to go out of his way to clarify that but the protagonists are weird. They're, they break the rules. They're not the rule, they break the rules.
Syndrome.
Exactly.
And so it's just like, it's weird when all the nobodies that we know are either the Organization 13, where we don't know what their original selves looked like, or there are people who are supposed to like break the rules, which is Roxas and Naminé, and they look fucking different.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if you'll permit me to like go full picture or big picture here, when it comes to like writing narratives and stuff, there's like the basic writing rule of stories are only ever ordinary stories about exceptional people or exceptional circumstances, or ordinary people in exceptional circumstances. Sorry.
That's so real. That's so
real.
Yeah.
That's so true.
So it's so fun when you have like a story like this that has all of this like deep world building stuff that's all in it, and you set up all of your rules. And of course, Kingdom Hearts fans, we love to, hello, give me the rules. I would love to learn some more rules. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And it's more important when those rules get broken. And that's like big flashing neon lights to tell you like, hey, this is something important. You need to pay attention to this. Why? Maybe because it might come back a little bit later. Yeah. Stay tuned in the series. Please keep buying them.
I was talking last episode about like how Ansem the Wise, like you just said, Mel, like all this nobody formula heartless stuff, it feels so scientific, and then Sora and Kairi show up and it's like, oh, they put a little bit too much of one chemical in and their result shows up different from the rest of the class. Like they're doing something different here. Either they are different or something special happened. You're exactly right with the special circumstances or special people. It's just like, what's going on? And I wrote down here, just to be a little bit of a fan for a second, it's just like Kairi and Sora and their interactions and them being so strong as two people. They have one interaction that makes a new person, a completely new person that is not like anything else we've ever seen before. And it's just like, it's so special. And it's so like, what's going on? And it's so like, these two are everything to me.
Yes.
And yeah,
and
that's how I feel.
Yeah, specifically at the point that Roxas and Naminé are born, I think maybe that's almost even a callback of just how special of a moment it is as, a fan when you get to that point in Kingdom Hearts 1 where it is such a big reveal that Kairi is a princess of heart. She is this like omega special person in the universe, and like how that kind of rocks your world a little bit. And then it's followed up with like the 1-2 punch of not only is she this super special person, she's also been in your heart the whole time.
Yeah.
And it's kind of this foundational moment in the series where so much stuff happens, that 1-2 punch that's so important to the story of Kingdom Hearts 1 in and of itself, but then everything just keeps calling back to them with the creation of Roxas, with the creation of Naminé, and their special circumstances when they get born.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellently said.
I wanted to say, like, everything you just said, I wanted to also add, like, Kairi haters love to call her pointless, right? But I so appreciate how Naminé's existence and birth really kind of elevate that, you know, they really, what's the word? Punctuate that point of her being such a strong, like, being, like, Princess of Heart. Like, she is the catalyst for so much of the events that take place in this series.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, Naminé is the one behind all of Chain of Memories, right?
Yes.
So, like, she's so important, and Kairi's not pointless.
Yeah.
And, like, it's so cool how these two have been built together to really, like, move forward a lot of the story
Yeah.
written here. Even if it's not, like, being the main focus of being Sora and cutting down Heartless, you know? It's very in the back, but it's so important. It's so important.
That is what I think is such a shame about people who don't see the prominence that Kairi has, because it's like, because she's not, like, the main character that you run around in. You know, Roxas had, like, his whole tutorial of 7 days that you really got to know him, that people think that she doesn't have this rippling effect on the series, but she does. And she does through, like, multiple titles. But because it's not as prominent in the front of the plot, I'm sure there's such a better way to say that, but people kind of miss it. I don't know if they ignore it, but they miss it. And I think a lot hinges on her and who she is and what she is.
Exactly. Like,
Absolutely.
I think it plays a lot into her identity as a nobody, right? You were just talking about Naminé, not Kairi, right?
I was talking about, well, fuck, I was talking about Kairi, but it works for Naminé too.
Okay, yes, sorry. Because, like, you had started talking about, like, Roxas in the prologue, and, like...
You're so right. You're so right. I understand how I was misleading, but I was meaning Kairi, but it works for Naminé as well.
Yes. So they do kind of have this, like, tandem energy, this symbiotic relationship between the two of them, obviously, right? Because they're essentially the same person. And they move in tandem on these separate fields where they both move a lot more in the shadows, behind the scenes, not prominently on screen, but they are still making major moves.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then all we see is Axel grabbing Kairi by the wrist and being like, well, you're coming with me now. And, you know, it's fodder for the haters.
Is such a good transition onto my next point, which is, if my two best friends were on adventures and, like, experiencing crazy shit like the other side of the galaxy, and I was stuck at home having to go to school, I'd be fucking pissed. I'd be so mad. And I'm someone who dropped out. Like, I do not like school. So that's how mad I would be.
Yeah.
No, I was the kid daydreaming about going on adventures in school. Like, absolutely.
Yeah, stinky. And at a time before cell phones and screen times.
You have to communicate telepathically with your boyfriend's nobody in order to even talk to them.
Which, honestly, maybe... So later, I'll say this because it's not like a plot spoiler, but, like, way down the series in the Kingdom... Way down the Kingdom Hearts series, they come up with, like, a version of social media. And I would be so mad if Sora and Riku started posting about their adventures and I was still stuck at home. God.
Yeah. Anyway, to kind of hard pivot to my next point, as I was reading the script, I was like, man, if the devs weren't cowards and this wasn't made in the early 2000s, Naminé would be trans with the heart of a girl and the body of a boy. Like, the LGBT representation is everywhere with those for eyes to see.
Which is It's so funny because I read it the other way where I was like, oh my gosh, Naminé is a girl and she's born from Sora, a boy. Like, come on, trans femme. Which I think is just so... Kingdom Hearts is so gender. And it's gender in every way.
Absolutely.
It's like Link is like gender in any way you want to interpret it. And if people don't get it, then you don't get it. But if you get it, you do. You know what I mean?
If you get it, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have this incessant need to always like categorize the organization as like a greater metaphor for the LGBT community.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
Where it's and I always say this all the time, they're very much like the X-Men in that they are this just this force that has been othered in a
so true
very intentional way, right? And the almost bigotry that comes from I hate to put this on him, but like you know what? I'm gonna put it on Yin
Say
Sid because Sora got his anti-nobody bigotry from Yin Sid because he's the one who taught him about it.
I thought you were gonna say Ansem the Wise, the twist. But you're right.
Gosh.
They're both
Ansem Wise is there too, but he wasn't teaching
Both
people.
crusty old men. What do they know?
All crusty old men keep telling us to other this other group, but even though there's not there. Hey, listen, individuals are flawed. All right, not everybody is gonna. Not every gay is gonna be also like a great person. All right, and that's I don't know. Should I talk? Because I've talked about this before in one of my videos where I feel very, very connected to another character that we are not going to talk about right now.
Right.
Also having very big trans coding on them, and how the organization at large can kind of sometimes be how there is specifically like within the greater LGBT community, there's still like biphobia from gay men. There's still transphobia from lesbians, you know. Not everybody's perfect and we're always working towards that. And how there is so many layers to these characters, anybody who can be othered, it's the gays will flock to these people, these characters, fictional characters. Yeah. And they're just, I love them.
That's why, like, speaking of, like, Naminé, I am going to segue into my next point, but before I do, I want to say this. Naminé in particular is so interesting to me because she is so nice. She just wants to help other people and undo her mistakes, which she was manipulated into doing.
Yes.
Yeah, they're not her mistakes.
She literally has so much power. She's so powerful.
She's so powerful,
and yet everyone around her just kind of agrees, like, oh, but she's nothing. She's nothing. Even though she literally... The only reason she doesn't fucking mind control everybody is because she doesn't realize she has that power. I think that's something we talked about in Chain of Memories is how, like the quote, the way you lose your power is believing you don't have any or whatever.
Absolutely.
And so it's like, she is absolutely someone who's told that she's nothing, even though she has the ability to change the world.
Yes.
Okay, so... Anyway, I just had to get that out. Something that I think is really interesting about Naminé, because in Kingdom Hearts 2, she has like we said, she plays a big role and her actions create a ripple that literally wakes up like our main protagonist. But she doesn't have a lot of scenes in Kingdom Hearts 2. And one of the scenes that she does have that I think is so revealing about her current mindset is when she says to Roxas, like, I'm a witch. That's what Diz called me. I have this power. I don't know why. And I don't even know if there's a right way for me to use it. And I just love that scene where she's talking to Roxas because even though she's trying to tell Roxas, like, hey, you're a nobody. You don't really exist. It also just shows so much about the insight of her mind and what she thinks about herself. And she's like trying to make up for Castle Oblivion, but she doesn't really know if she's going the right way. And I just love that scene. Yeah. I love that scene for her. And then the other thing I have to say about this scene is at one point she goes like, I don't know why I have this power. And I'm like, Diz literally writes why you have that power. So did Diz not even fucking tell her? Did he not even tell her, like, the circumstances of her birth, even though she knows she was Kairi's and nobody? Like, I don't know. I don't know. That's what it sounds like to me.
Crusty old man at it again, just being worthless.
You are a tool at best.
No wonder people call him Ansem trigger warning.
Yeah, and I have such similar feelings. I think we talked about this. Well, first of all, I want to say, like, I feel like this is such, like, a cool representation of someone having, like, newfound powers that are, like, not well researched because it's not something anyone has seen before. I think it's very cool. I feel like usually that's not how things are portrayed. I feel like people usually have like this innate sense of like, oh, I need to use my powers for good and this is how I'm gonna do that or blah blah blah. But this is clearly like so different from that, which is cool. But also, you know, going into Diz, I think we talked about this on our last Naminé episode, but the fact that she calls herself a witch and that like other people call her a witch, I think it's Ansem the Wise, right? Such a wild word to use. Like, feels like almost out of place for this series.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's so weird. It's like, I don't know what the other word is used like across other translations, but like the word witch has such a heavy implication in America because of our history around that word. Yep. And the witch trials and everything, like such like a heavy, like negative, you know, connotation to this word that is being used for a girl that is so small and so pure. And just having these men around her just kind of dictate what she's doing.
Yeah.
Like
her purity is almost always like exemplified in that she's like all white everywhere. Every room that she's in needs to be all white. You know, her outfit. Yeah. That is specifically her singular and only outfit that is so understated for Nomura's particular fashion style.
So true.
It's
which I think.
Yeah.
I don't know if like this has ever been brought up. Like I don't want to pretend like I'm making a huge discovery or anything. I'm sure this has been discussed somewhere, but like that's such a like cool representation of like Kairi's, you know, being a princess of heart, being a very pure being. I feel like that has to like kind of stem from that a little bit.
Absolutely, yeah.
What were you else were you saying, Aeba?
So, yeah, sorry, did I cut you off a little bit?
We just like me and my friends, we have like a joke about where it's like by Nomura's standard, he's basically put her in like what do you call it? It's like a
to me, it looks like a washcloth.
I've forgotten the gosh dang. What is it? It's a bag, but what kind of bag? A bag like
a glad?
A potato sack.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes. She needs like a new getup.
Yes, and we complain about that constantly. So, like with Naminé's like special powers that she has, I just find it to be like so. There's a couple of different questions that are a little bit left open because it's presented in a very ambiguous way, but it's when the major memory loss of the series happens at the end of Chain of Memories, and everyone, both Sora's memories are like kind of wiped back to square one, but also everyone who is connected with him also gets their memories wiped specifically of him. Would that be like to be on the receiving end of the memory wipe? Because there is the Chain of Memories credit scene of Kairi where she does kind of like look off into the distance almost kind of suddenly, like she just forgot something. So is it all of the memories just got sucked right out of everybody instantaneously, or was it just like a slow drip of just losing this person that we had in our lives?
Wait, I don't know. I can't even think of what you're saying. I'm going to look it up right now. Shadow, get out of here. I got an ad. Not yet. That's not your time. Oh my god. Okay, selfie.
Yeah, they're playing and she's just like, what just happened here?
Yeah, weird.
Wow.
Okay, this I have seen. Okay. I guess I just forgot about that Kairi one. Very interesting.
You know me, encyclopedic knowledge if it means that Kairi's on the screen.
Very interesting. Okay, so keep going with your thought now that I can visualize what you're talking about.
Yeah, so is it I don't know which of these like two scenarios would be like sadder. Is it like slowly losing things so much so that you don't notice it going away, or is it just the all of a sudden I'm missing something, I'm missing someone, where are they, who are they?
Ugh.
Yeah.
Well, just the idea of forgetting someone important to you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So scary, so sad. It just makes me like feel like just me trying to imagine that sort of thing. I feel like all of those memories that people would have had with Sora would kind of turn into those type of memories where you don't remember if they really happened or if they happened in a dream. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I think that's, like, at least to me, I feel like that's how it would feel, especially if there's such a huge part of them missing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Especially, like, a childhood friend. Like, if I were to think about, like, someone who comes to my mind when I think about, like, my childhood, who was always there, I think of my twin, who's alive and well. But I think of the idea of, like, me forgetting my twin and, like, certain scenes that happened with just the two of us no longer really make sense. Like, say, like, an argument. If I'm remembering an argument, but I don't remember who I was arguing with, like, would that eat at me? Oh.
That would be wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like I would go crazy trying to remember.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And like,
thank God I live in real life.
Thank goodness, yeah. Well, and like, I think it's especially like, this isn't about him right now, but especially for, I bumped my table. With Riku being like in the midst of like all of this stuff that's still happening, but still also not having his own memories of Sora. So like he's like, I know I'm doing this for like a friend and like Sora's a friend, but I don't know who Sora is.
Yeah.
I think we talked about that. We had a couple episodes ago, we had an episode on Riku and what he was kind of doing between Chain of Memories and Kingdom Hearts 2. And it is really weird to think about how, I guess, like, if Riku forgot about Sora and wasn't taken under Diz's wing yet, then, like, he really was just, like, thinking about himself and thinking about Xehanort's Heartless still troubling him. And, like, how lonely. Like, it would almost be, like, a relief to remember, like, oh my God, I have a friend and he needs me. Like, I am not just by myself. Like, I do have a purpose. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. He would have been cut loose if he had no other, like, tie to him right at that moment. Yeah.
So, yes. Yeah, totally. Thank God for fucking Mickey. I can't believe I said that. But really, thank God.
Well, and Naminé was there too. She was making sure that Riku was staying in line.
You're absolutely right. I couldn't remember if Naminé was only reunited with Riku after Diz connected with Riku, but I forgot that obviously Riku meets Naminé herself and not just with Diz. Right. So, okay. No, you're right.
Hey, you're that pickpocket.
I was literally thinking about that line the other day because I have to gather, I like to gather the character quotes, like saying things that we write in the scripts, and I hand those over to Hannah to like lift off some weight from her. And I heard that line, and that line with no context is just so funny. Yeah. It's so good.
Just so much of, God, I love Kingdom Hearts. Because they have, back in the older games when they had to, like, I guess the computer had to, like, think about putting the characters in the next action or whatever, there's just such a stiltedness about everything. So it's like, hey, you're that pickpocket. Long pause. Shoving you through the door, yeah.
Characters
just the timing.
Who interrupt each other. Yeah. There's fully like 2 seconds before the interruption. It's
yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Oh dear. Kingdom
It's
Hearts.
cinema.
I think that's one of the things, you know, we won't get into specifics, but I think that's one of the things that made Kingdom Hearts 3 so funny to me is like interruptions were on time.
Exactly.
And like dialogue was on time. And I was like, oh my God, it feels so natural.
Yeah,
like,
dialogue could be spoken on top of each other.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
God.
As I just did when I cut you off right then.
But baby, that's natural.
It's natural.
That's
Baby.
natural.
Baby, it's called conversation. Look into it.
Real life.
Yeah, look into it.
And like another point that I always like come back to when it comes to like, especially the super special relationship between the super special nobodies of Roxas and Naminé and their counterpart Sora and Kairi is how like the nobodies are a reflection of their somebodies, fandom term, and how the way that they both try to help each other, they both try to care for each other, is kind of metaphorically a way of like saying this should be self-care, right? You should love yourself. You should give yourself some grace.
Yeah.
Some you can help get yourself out of very, very hard circumstances, like Naminé's isolation, the isolation that she was born into, which must have been, you know, just absolutely
awful.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
awful. Imagine being born and you are completely alone for even just like a couple of days.
Yeah.
What that could possibly do to you, and then, you know, why she does the thing that she does in Chain of Memories is completely understandable.
Oh,
Yes.
God, yeah.
And again, like you were saying, with Kairi being so isolated on the islands during Kingdom Hearts 2, when everybody else is off having fun adventures and you just get to be stuck doing the hard stuff, how Naminé can recognize the loneliness in Kairi, like when she saves her from the prison in the world that never was. And Kairi also recognizes the loneliness in Naminé when, you know, she like finally accepts her back into her heart at the end. In this title, at least, at the end of Kingdom Hearts 2, when they just they hold hands and they meld together, it's a period there at that point, and it's about just like hug yourself and give yourself the time that you need to just like to be a person, and like your feelings are valid.
Absolutely.
One of my favorite lines Naminé says ever throughout the whole series is when she's pulling Kairi out of the prison and she says, believe in yourself.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like, that's so fucking cute. You guys, believe in yourself.
And that
God.
also, I feel, is punctuated with Sora and Roxas, when Roxas is talking about, or when he's on the tower with Axel and he's like, Sora will find the answer. I know he will because he's me. It's like,
Yeah.
Fuck. This is something that, you know, once again, not getting into any specifics, that I think some modern Kingdom Hearts games miss. Because I think as they get more complex, because if you don't know by now, Kingdom Hearts is known for getting really complicated.
Yeah.
I think that the main writer, Nomura, tends to focus on the complicated plot.
Yeah.
And not enough about the character and the emotional people that drive it. Because this is, like, when I became a Kingdom Hearts fan, this is what got me into it, was the different relationships and the emotions that come with it. And this makes me a type of excited and giddy that, like, I know I'm known for lore, but the lore doesn't get me like this because it's not what got me into the series. The lore was just kind of like, well, I guess I have to know this now. You know?
Yeah.
Like, but you're right. Like, the relationship Naminé and Kairi have, and the relationship Roxas and Sora has, especially as it develops, because it doesn't start the same way that it ends.
Yeah.
Like, that really is what makes this game so fucking good, in my opinion. In my onion.
Yes. Yeah.
This game is great.
Yeah, and I think that's what's so special about Kingdom Hearts 2 in particular, is that there is this major pause, this major breath that we get in this series that lets Roxas and Naminé kind of just sit for a second and just be like, be held, and their entire lives they have been given no gentleness. And and Sora and Kairi are so special. Oh my god, Sora and Kairi are such special people, and they finally give that to them. And being nice and kind to yourself and others is just kind of like cool.
So true. So true. So with Naminé and Kairi joining and accepting each other, following that path, something I never really realized, which maybe everybody else kind of knew this and I'm just the odd one out, but I didn't realize until writing this script that the reason Naminé starts to fade away and is because she already started the union with Kairi when they held hands and when Naminé pulled her out of the prison. And there was that big light. Like, I'm looking back at myself like, Mel, every time you played Kingdom Hearts 2, what were you even thinking? Like, what was going through your head?
Ooh, shiny colors.
Because, like, I wonder if it's because, like, between every Kairi and Naminé scene, there's, like, a bunch of other shit. You know, you've got, like, Xemnas and Saïx and Ansem always talking to Mickey. So maybe I just never put two and two together.
There is a lot happening.
Yeah.
Yes, there is. There's a lot happening.
Yeah.
So I never picked up on this until literally like 2 weeks ago.
But
so my
like
bad.
Once again, like the through line of like Kairi and Naminé is that a lot of some of their best moments in the series kind of happen off screen and not focused on.
Yeah.
And that's what's so frustrating about it, is that just put them on screen just a little bit more, show me their emotions, show me their reactions. It's you just give me some character interaction, please.
Too many boys. Give us the girls.
Too many boys. Exactly.
It's so weird because there are other girl characters that get a lot of screen time. Maybe not a lot, but more than Kairi and Naminé.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I'm just like, you do it for them.
Yeah.
Why are you not doing it for these two girls who have been here forever? Like, I don't know.
In a sense, that like makes me so excited whenever they do show up on screen. I'm like, yes, stuff's happening. I love to see them. There they are. They're here. Finally.
They're very special.
Very special.
Okay, so something that we also got some emails on is... It's so weird when is Riku handing Kairi a Keyblade and he's just like, here, take this. I'm like, oh,
where were you keeping that, sir?
So it's my thought. I don't know if people would agree with this because maybe it's talked about in an Ultimania. I don't remember. If it is, it was in Japanese exclusive for like years, so I don't really blame myself for not knowing. But it seems to me that, okay, so in Kingdom Hearts 1, way back in Kingdom Hearts 1, when Sora was about to be engulfed in darkness, when Destiny Islands was falling to darkness and Sora was about to be engulfed right next to Riku, the Keyblade saved him. It was like this big flash of light, and then the Keyblade appeared, and he was safe from the darkness. So I'm wondering if, like, something similar happened where Kairi was about to get, you know, beat up by all these Shadow Heartless, and then her Keyblade appeared, and maybe it appeared on the ground and Riku picked it up, but I don't really know. Like, what do you guys make of that scene?
It's strange because it's an oddball out. It's the Keyblade is never treated like this for anyone else before. It's never treated like this for anyone else after.
Yeah.
It's
never referenced.
It's never referenced. Yeah, and like the thing is supposedly, like, there's a lot of back and forth about, I mean, I kind of value the way that originally when it was just Kingdom Hearts 1, during the fall of Destiny Islands, I kind of like to have this immaculate conception of the Keyblade kind of happening for Sora. But in subsequent interviews and subsequent titles, Nomura's kind of confirmed that that was specifically Riku losing the ability to get the Keyblade. The Keyblade chose Sora in that moment rather than Riku because Riku was being, like, weak. And with this, that could almost be Riku also doing, like, handing a Keyblade to Kairi in the same sense of, like, an inheritance almost.
I'd never thought of it like that.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's, but again, it's not like a big flash and suddenly it appears in her hand. Maybe she, like, Butterfingers dropped it, and he was like, what is this?
I found this in the closet over there. Maybe you could use it.
It looks like you. I mean, you know.
It's got your vibes.
Oh my god, you should totally get it. It's totally your vibes.
It's definitely weird. In fact, let me just see if there are any... What does any emails dip into this? Let me see. Adrian did send an email with featuring a question of evolving that. But, I mean, it's hard to say because, like Aeba said, it's literally never talked about again. So, it's just... it kind of annoys me when... Because we've talked before about how there are certain things that we mention because it doesn't seem important now, but it's a surprise tool that'll help us later. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, it's gonna come back.
Yeah.
And so, but this, like, if this is one of those times, bitch, the seed has still not been sown.
Yeah.
Like, she's still planted in the
Exactly.
dirt. Even for us who've played all the games, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's fucking annoying, and I want it bad. But...
Exactly. And I think, unfortunately, in a metatextual sense, almost anything that has to do with Kairi is so glossed over. I don't think it will come back.
No!
I think it was just a choice that happened. What led to that choice? We're gonna just have to, I guess, wait until Nomura addresses it in an interview. Maybe.
Ever.
When we're all 80.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's
Alas,
just...
I do agree.
It stinks, but the biggest answer we can have for you is just it was a choice.
Yeah. It happened. Somehow Palpatine returned.
Exactly. Very that.
God.
So whenever I was recording this script, at the very end, I texted Mel and I was like, the last line of the script made me cry.
Yeah.
It's just that line of she's finally on that colorful island with her friends like she always sketched. Ah! It's too much. It's too much. And we love Naminé. We love having her friends that she wanted to be her friends the whole time, and now they really are her friends.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
That's why I'm really glad Naminé and Roxas were able to have that moment at The World That Never Was, where they were like, Okay, I had to make sure I didn't say the world ends with you. Sorry. I had to stop for a second there.
No, yeah.
But when she's like, we'll be together, or I guess Kairi says, we'll be together every day.
Yeah.
And like, thank fucking God that Naminé and Roxas get to like breathe.
Yeah.
They get to like sit down. You know what I mean? After standing, doing bullshit jobs. Or
being paid $7.50 an hour, fielding complaints, being yelled at by all kinds of Karens.
In a customer service representative job. Jeez.
No pee breaks.
No pee breaks.
They're finally off. Their job's done. Thank God.
It's again, like Kingdom Hearts 2 really does give that really big punctuation to their story. For at least the time being. And it's such a beautiful way to just give them what they needed.
Yeah. Especially on fucking Paradise, dude. Like,
what
you couldn't retire anywhere better.
Yeah, honestly.
Oh, do they have any vacancies in Destiny Island?
I would live there.
I've been really feeling the vibe here.
We gotta record a VOD for AMV or Airbnb. AMV.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So Adrian sent us a lot of questions.
Thank you, Adrian.
Thank you, Adrian. A few of them rolled over from the last episode. We didn't forget. We promise. So the first one we're going to talk about right now. Why do you think Roxas and Naminé ended up spawning in two different worlds? After all, their original selves and the Heartless that created them were in the same location, and I assume they were spawned at the same time, but not in the same place.
Yeah, we wanted to point out that Naminé was born in Castle Oblivion and not Twilight Town, which is just like yet another thing that makes her extraordinary. Especially because Aeba, you were really good at pointing this out. How Castle Oblivion is like, how did you describe it?
It's so like with all of the even like the more special worlds. It's like with Twilight Town, with the world that never was. They exist in this realm in between, right? Not quite light, not quite darkness, and Castle Oblivion is one of those. But it's like it's on the precipice of something even a little bit more mysterious than the others, almost.
Yeah.
So
it really is.
Yeah, it's
especially because like, well, I'll let you finish.
No, it's like it's a super special surprise for later.
yeah. But I think I think it only fits with Naminé's theme even more of how Naminé is like not that she doesn't exist because like you literally can like see her, you know, but like
sometimes
the way she exists less than everybody else and exists even less than your standard nobody. And so it's like, I almost feel like it's fitting for her to be born in such a ominous kind of I don't know if depraved is the right word, but it's like, in my opinion, Castle Oblivion is the most empty place you could be without it literally being barren. You know, It's not a desert, it's a castle, but it's a castle stripped of any personality on the inside. And on the outside, it looks like a complete labyrinth of sideways wings. And it's like in the scariest little like hell looking kind of crusty sort of pathway. I don't even know how to describe it.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like fitting that she would be born there because she's just so nothing, even though she's everything.
Don't
but,
say
like,
that.
She's nothing,
She's not nothing. She's everything.
I just mean like
she's everything.
Her existence is so like diluted. I don't even know the correct terminology for how to describe her.
Fleeting,
you know, the most fleeting, fleeting shadows.
Yeah, you described her as a thin piece of ice, and like what an apt like visual metaphor for her.
Mm.
I think that's a great way to look at it.
Oh, the glass menagerie. Just a little tchotchke on the shelf.
I was thinking she is the definition of a glass cannon, actually. She's so powerful. She's quite literally made of glass.
Mm-hmm.
God.
Yeah.
I'll still hold her hand, though. She might melt, but I'll hold her hand.
Absolutely. She deserves it.
Yeah.
And then, this next question, Aeba really wanted to talk about. Also from Adrian, do you think Naminé got her affection for drawing because that is something that Sora and Kairi used to do together? Which is such a cute thought to start.
It is. Yeah. Well, of course, children like to do drawing and stuff, but I have always kind of had this interpretation of, like, again, Kairi and Naminé are reflections of each other, and we've seen Kairi be, she likes her writing, right? She writes her letters all of the time, both with the one that's here in this title that we're mainly talking about, with her message in a bottle to Sora by the end. And then later on in the series, she's also seen writing a lot. So that is her, like, creative pursuit. And it's like, I feel like I've always, like, seen, like, writing and, like, drawing as, like, the opposite sides of a coin.
Of course, yeah.
So it's just, like, it's just ways that these girls can, like, creatively express themselves. And, like, it that symbiosis between them keeps them linked in their expression.
That is so cute.
It's so good.
I just want to see them, like, sitting next to each other. You know how people will be, like, working on their projects in the same room, even though they're not talking to each other? Like, I need to see that with them.
They need to write a children's book together.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yes.
What's that thing called, though? It's called, like, concurrent play or something.
Oh, I don't know.
No, it's like
parallel something play. I don't know.
Parallel play. Yes, yeah. It's like a real like childhood development thing. So yes, Mel, you were talking about like a real science thing.
Oh my god, I'm so smart and I don't even know it.
It's almost like you're powerful.
Oh my god, I'm so powerful.
Don't ever let anyone take your power.
Thank you. Believe in yourself.
Especially not the fucking YouTube comments.
No, I sniped those bitches like Naminé should. Anyway.
Yeah. She could brain break a person.
Yeah. And she will.
And she will. She has. And she'll do it again.
And then she'll draw about it. She'll draw it.
Just decompressing with my little sketchbook.
Okay, so Adrian's fifth question, which kind of piggybacks, I should have reordered this, my bad. That kind of piggybacks off of Kairi's Keyblade, is how she didn't keep it. It disappeared. And so I guess I always kind of thought that, like, Sora doesn't have his Keyblade on his back all the time.
Yeah.
He summons it. Unless, oh my god, I forgot about the manga. That is so cute. I think that's such a cute thing to do.
Yeah.
Okay, but in the video games, he like summons it at will, and then it like goes away when he doesn't need it anymore.
Yeah.
And I guess I just kind of figured that was the way it was for Kairi. Mm-hmm. But it's hard to say because she's not really in danger after,
Yeah.
So, I don't know, it's kind of weird.
Again, it might just be like the limitations of the hardware that we were in at the time, and
true.
she just in many places it's so specifically we just so happened to lose both Kairi and Mickey here. Oh, they're just they just got tossed just 2 more feet outside of the ring.
Someone put up an invisible wall. Yeah,
exactly. So it's just like, they can't be here right now. So it's kind of
That's so funny.
Kairi is there in spirit, right? Even though she's not on screen doing stuff, you can kind of fill in the blanks in the background of, she's still there. She might take out a couple nobodies here and there, She goes to the same place where whoever is not in your 2 extra party members is at the time, the one that's not chosen. That space.
That's so funny. That's such a fun. Like, of course Mulan doesn't actually switch out with Donald. Like, of course they're quote unquote both there.
Yeah.
You just can't. That's so fucking funny. I never thought of it like that.
Yeah.
That imagery in my head.
Yeah.
Sora just said, like, okay, like, you just move in the back. Just.
Yeah. You're in the camera. The camera can see you. Go back further.
Yeah. So it's like you can say that she is there. She is doing stuff, but it's just not a part of the game. Unless you wanted to do like a mod or whatever. There are mods that now lets you even play as Kairi during those sections. So, or they're in the process, you know.
Currently downloading that as we speak.
Oh my God. It's girl. Ooh, girl. They are so freaking fun. I love playable Kairi mods. I love playable Kairi mods.
All right, well, that is the last of the questions we're going to address for today. So, Aeba, we've come to the end of the episode. I would like you to plug anything and everything you ever want and dreamed and whatever.
Oh, wow. Anything I want in dreams? Well, I would like a house
and
for my dogs and a nice car.
We're manifesting. Everyone hold hands. We're manifesting this for Aeba today.
Yes. Universal health care. How's that?
We're going to need more hands.
We need more hands.
It's universal for a reason. Hurry. Yeah, so I run a YouTube channel called Absolutely Everything About. That's kind of where I get the acronym. It's an acronym if you squint, Aeba. I think it's either Aeba Absolutely or Absolutely Aeba on most social media websites. Sorry, I can't remember which ones I've
You'll find her.
Where.
Just type it in. You'll find her.
Yeah, particularly follow me on Blue Sky. I'm trying that out, and it's being nice to me so far. So I enjoy that.
Hell yeah.
I will say that if you're playing Kingdom Hearts for the first time and you haven't finished everything,
oh, so true.
Be aware of spoilers just in case Aeba does post spoilers, because Aeba is a current fan who has experienced the story up to date.
Yes.
But also, if you are like looking forward to someone to watch whose opinions and like Aeba just has great videos.
Yeah.
Like, yes, it is with spoiler material, but like look forward to her stuff because they're so good. I'm like, if there's one YouTuber who should at least have 100,000, it's Aeba. Like, her shit is that funny, that well thought out, that long. We all love YouTubers who post super long video essays.
Hell yeah.
Like, she's that bitch.
Oh gosh.
I loved your video on Kingdom Hearts fashion. Loved that. Ate up every second of that.
Hey, and you know what? That's also, that's the one thing I should plug. That was a part of last year's March Caprice. Follow March Caprice. It's a annual March Caprice digital convention. So everyone's welcome to attend from all over the world. And we're going to have it this year, the last week of March. That's the 24th through the 30th. And if you want to sign up to be a participant in March Caprice, actually, because it's we show people's videos, we show people's art, cosplay, basically anything that you have made as a creator, and you can showcase about Kingdom Hearts. We can host you, and signups to actually participate in it close on January 15th. So
hell yeah,
absolutely participate if you want to. We would love to have you.
Amazing. Mel, what is our episode for next week?
Our episode for next week. Okay, actually, I might have to look.
Yeah, do we even know?
So, next episode is gonna be about the virtual. Oh my god, did you hear that voice?
Yeah, I
crack?
did.
It's gonna be about the virtual Twilight Town. So, you know. It's got a lot of weird glitches. How does it work? How the fuck was Roxas put in a computer? We're gonna cover it all, okay? We're gonna cover it all. He got uploaded.
His ass got uploaded. Oh my god.
Yeah, I'm absolutely tuning into that.
Hell
wow.
yeah.
Yes.
So if you have questions, be sure to email sheddingstarlight@gmail.com. If you enjoyed Aeba on today's episode, be sure to like the video and subscribe and leave a comment saying how much you loved her and everything she had to say. And yeah, I think that's it. Anything else, Mel and or Aeba, for today?
Just
Not for me.
thank you so much for having me, though. I've just had such a great time here on Shedding Starlight.
Of course.
I'm so excited. Even though it's literally like over, we're at the end, I'm still so excited.
Well, thank you for watching, everybody,
And we'll see you in the Starlight.